Hello everyone, and welcome to round one of the 2013 Mopar Canadian National Road Racing Championships from Shannonville Motorsport Park in Ontario. I'm your series announcer, Frank Wood. Today we're covering round one of the Superbike feature class on Sunday, June the 9th. The national opener is presented by Dealey Harley-Davidson Canada, Honda Canada, and by Mopar. Well, ladies and gentlemen, find yourself a good spot in the grandstands if you haven't got one already. Perhaps you can find just a bit of shade on such a sunny day, although we've had so much rain this spring, perhaps you'd rather just sit out in the sun and bake. Riders now making their way down the back straightaway. It's really unfortunate that J.R. McRae could not get that Castrol Triumph out here, the number 27 rider having a mishap in the XR 1200 race. That may have something to do with it, although we spoke to him shortly thereafter that, and he seemed to be fine. It struck me as rather funny that Darren James would congratulate him on his podium finish on the Triumph after he had trashed one of the Ruthless Racing XR 1200s, but there you go. So I guess McRae, who we thought was doing triple duty this weekend, riding in both the Mopar Superbike, the Hindle Exhaust Sport Bike, and the Harley-Davidson XR 1200s, but obviously he is not going to make it to this grid for Superbike. Szoke is on pole, alongside him Christie, then Welsh, then McBride. Back on row 2, rookie sensation number 116 on the Pro Star entry, Trevor Money Shot Daly. And the Warlord lined up alongside him on that 600cc machine at a distinct disadvantage with 125 horsepower compared to the 190 horsepower beasts that surround him. Now under starters' orders, Chris Chappell looking after the duties. The lights blink down. All lights are on. The lights go off. The field launches, and Christie! Jodi Christie! Oh, that was beautiful. Christie gets his gun out of the holster, but quick. Szoke is in 4th spot as they peel off into turn 2 for this first go-round. Welsh and McBride running 2nd and 3rd. I'm not sure who has what position there, but it is Jodi Christie that has launched that Accelerated Technologies Honda Canada CBR 1000 RR out front. And I think Szoke is on the move very quickly there. I believe that was him making the move up into 2nd spot. Now onto the back straightaway. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 190 horsepower on tap each. Look at Christie go. Oh my goodness gracious, he's got 15 to 20 bike lengths already. Szoke is running in 3rd spot now, and I believe that's Welsh in 2nd. We'll get a true reading on them as they come up through the S's. Here comes Christie on the number 20. Accelerated Technologies, Honda. Christie getting a wee bit of a wobble there coming out of the S's. He's pushing very, very hard early in this race. Louis Rafa has been caught on a jump start. Number 76 definitely assessed jump start, and I believe that is a 10-second penalty. It's Trombino running in 4th. Trombino holds on to 4th place. Christie, Welsh, Szoke, and Trombino running in that order. Up and behind the trees they go for their first visit up there. Let me give you a complete running order as they came past the tower last time around. Once that's up and running there as timing is scoring. Up here in the tower, and now our race leaders now heading into the hairpin, the right-hander, and Christie's large lead seems to have evaporated just a tad. Oh, he gets a big jump coming off that hairpin corner. Jodi Christie really putting power to the ground now and speeding down that Fabi straightaway in past the Rider's Choice Tower, and the riders in pursuit, Alex Welsh and Jordan Szoke, hard on the brakes trying to stay with him. Look at Christie, what an inspired start, an inspired ride in the first few laps of this 22-lap contest. Oh, big crash! I think that's Daly. The red bike. Oh, big crash at the end of the straightaway. The red motorcycle. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I think it was Trevor Daly, but I'm kind of, it is confirmed. A big crash at the end of the straightaway. We can see Daly is walking away from it, so we know it's a good news item. But unfortunately, a rider that could be contending for the Pro Rookie of the Year awards, now out of this race. The fast boy out of Mississauga, Ontario, on the Pro Star Racing Honda, Trevor Daly, T-Rev, is out of it. Tough break. Top three riders now bunched all together once more. Christie still has the lead, and once more, this time down the back straightaway. Christie using the horsepower available to his advantage. Stretches out a bit of a lead as Welsh and Szoke both close up on the elastic band and move right in behind that Honda. Your running order by manufacturer is Honda, Suzuki, BMW. Horsepower. The Suzuki running back in fourth spot as well. That, of course, Frank Trombino, and I believe that's Matthew McBride in fifth on the number 13 bike, and Sebastien Tremblay on the number 24 bike, rounding out the top six as they come past the start-finish line. Matthew McBride getting a bit of a handful there as his bike gets into a big old wobble coming off of turn 14. Marie-José Boucher having a good ride, as is Franklin Dominguez. Race leaders now in behind the trees where we can't see them from the grandstand, and it becomes very dramatic as we wait for them to come out from behind those trees. They have done so. The top three riders still riding as one, and up into the hairpin we go. Christie, Welsh, and Szoke in that order. Look at how close they are right now, but watch now as they get under acceleration to see whether Christie indeed is able to pull away. Not this time. Not this time at all. The Kenwood-sponsored Parts Canada Suzuki rider Alex Welsh staying definitely within striking distance on that run down the Fabi straightaway, and once more very, very close in through the S's. Looks like Szoke was having a quick look to the inside there on Welsh going into Allen's corner. He definitely wants to keep Christie within striking distance, but realizes full well that with Welsh close enough, he can stay right there. It's a 22-lap contest, and they're not going to blow their brains out in the first few laps here. Up into turn two once more. Jodi Christie over Welsh and Szoke. Christie, Welsh, Szoke, Trombino. Then McBride, Tremblay. Marie-José Boucher running in seventh spot. Louis Raff is in eighth, but he has a penalty assessed. Martin Ricard has moved it up to ninth spot. That's a good move for a fellow that hasn't raced until today. 71, Christopher Garvey running in 10th, and Matt Cooper in the top 11. Szoke has made a move now on Welsh. Thanks, John. Szoke moving to riders right. That's the inside as they peel off into that right-hander is turn 11. And Jordan Szoke on the number one bike, the Parts Canada BMW Motorrad entry, the S1000RR, now solidly into second spot. Alex Welsh shunted back into third. Tremblay still holds on to fifth spot with Trombino. Oh, I correct myself. Matt McBride in fifth, Trombino in fourth, and Tremblay holding on to sixth spot as our top three riders are still glued together. Szoke looks to the inside of Christie coming out of two. Nothing there. It looks like Szoke has intentions of getting out in front as quickly as he can. And this is still very early in this race. Szoke now right on the back wheel. Jodi Christie, clocked by the OPP, 251 kilometers per hour. 251 kilometers per hour for Jodi Christie on the Honda. Szoke now on the hunt, coming up towards the S's. Watch this run down into Allen's. I got a sneaking suspicion that People's Champion's got something in mind. No, not this time around. Sits in behind Christie and plays it smart. Christie's had a clear field of vision thus far in this race, has not seen a wheel from anyone yet. He's also enjoyed a larger lead than what we're seeing right now. When we reflect back to the regional race that we recorded here for csbk.ca a couple of weeks back, and Christie was getting into some big slides coming off turn 11. Out of two, it looked like Szoke had a very, very good push as they head down into turn 7. So we're watching carefully now from the grandstands, waiting for those bikes to come within view once more. But Szoke has not been able to complete a pass, and Christie still holds on to this race lead. Christie, Szoke, and Welsh. Then Trombino, McBride, and Sebastien Tremblay. Boy, our top three riders are very close now, in through the S's, stacked up and banking over like shadows of one another. Down into Allen's again. Szoke has a look. It's hard to say where and when he might attempt to pass, but it is certainly what he has in mind. Christie laying down a big old patch of black rubber from that Pirelli slick. There goes Szoke to the inside. Not to happen. Christie gently closes the door on him. Runs to Ryder's left all the way down the front straightaway, which left a big hole going into one. Szoke looked like he wanted to take advantage of it, but Christie very gentlemanly, shall we say, moved in, took the line away from him and defended his race lead. 7, 8, and 9 is what the riders are working on right now. Up into turn number 10, the hairpin. And once more, down the back straightaway they go. Christie and Szoke now starting to pull away slightly from Welsh. Welsh running in third spot on the Suzuki. Szoke in second on the BMW. And, of course, up front, Jodi Christie on that number 20 Honda. And it was at this race last year where Andrew Nelson won his first Superbike race of his career. Okay, there's a little twist in the rules. We announced that Louis Rafa had been caught on a jump start, but apparently there is no penalty being assessed to him on that. I'll explain the details on that just a bit later. Right now I want to keep up on this race action. Our race leaders have headed in once more in behind the trees into turns, the 7, 8, and 9 combination that will eventually lead them up into the hairpin. They still run as one. Christie, Szoke, and Welsh. It looked like Welsh was falling off the pace very slightly last time around, but he has definitely closed it back up again. He held on to second spot for the first couple of laps before Szoke was able to get away from him. This time again, it looks like Christie and Szoke are able to pull away from that GSXR 1000 on that Fabi straightaway. 255 kilometers per hour. My goodness gracious. Good battle now starting to heat up between McBride and Trombino for that fourth place. Trombino at a decided disadvantage in terms of horsepower, but really putting all his knowledge and skill to work there. Szoke again has a quick look to the inside. Not going to happen. Szoke reminds me of one of those snakes you see in the nature. He's made the pass. Szoke to the inside and has made a pass on Jodi Christie. Christie looked like he bobbled just slightly coming out of turn 2. Szoke definitely has taken the race lead as they head up into 7 and 8. We'll catch them coming into 9. Szoke has your race lead, but not much has changed up front other than that. Those three riders are still very, very close together. Let's see if Christie's horsepower can make any difference down the back straightaway. Szoke with the lead. Christie running in second spot. Now Welsh is in third. Trombino still holds on to fourth place with Matt McBride holding on to fifth. Moto Nation's Sebastian Tremblay, the Rookie of the Year from last year, is in sixth spot. That's your top 6 right now. And your race leaders, no doubt, will be catching up to Martin Ricard fairly quickly. The number 265 bike, rather, not Martin Ricard, but Murray O'Dane on the 265 bike. Ricard actually has worked his way up. He was running in 9th spot when last we saw. Top 3 have gone past the grandstand. The battle between Trombino and McBride continues to bubble just a bit. And here out of turn 14 comes Sebastian Tremblay as our race leaders head up into turn 2 once more. Szoke getting a really good drive off of 2 and extending just ever so slightly his lead over Christie. Szoke, Christie, and Welsh. Now, if we reflect back to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in the final round of the Mopar Canadian Superbike Series last year, it was the top 3 riders with Welsh running in third spot. But when the race was over, it was Welsh who had won it. So who knows how things could turn out here. Jordan Szoke out front. Christie running in second. Szoke, if anything, I think gained a little bit of yardage on that run down the back straightaway and seems to be defending it pretty well coming into the S's. Austin Shaw O'Leary on the Golo Racing Yamaha speeds past the tower here. He, the rookie pro, and he'll be scoring points here, especially with Trevor Daly out of it. Austin Shaw O'Leary has a great points opportunity. Oh, big slide by Christie. Christie steps it out like a flat tracker coming out of turn 14. This is exactly what we saw at the regional race where Christie, late in the race, was getting big slides, and Szoke was able to capitalize on it. Now up into 7, 8, and 9. The top 3 riders go once more. And once more, Trombino continues to fend off the advances of Matthew McBride. Meanwhile, Rookie of the Year from 2012, Sebastian Tremblay on the Moto Nation number 24 bike, having a rather lonely ride back there. And although every now and again he'll catch a glimpse of the leaders, he is unable to keep pace with them. Szoke leads down the back straightaway. Szoke with probably as comfortable a cushion as we've seen so far in this race. But as we watch Murray O'Dane now coming down through the S's, and Szoke, Christie, and Welsh train coming up on him very, very quickly. It should be interesting to see as we get into these lapped riders. O'Dane will be first, and then Austin Shaw O'Leary, that our race leaders will catch up to. When they're running 3 so close together, this could be a very deciding factor, especially in the 1-2 combination. Here we go. O'Dane takes the inside line into 1. Szoke comes in on him. O'Dane will be moving over. Szoke gets by. Christie gets by. O'Dane moves over, and there goes Welsh. Beauty move. Beauty move. Murray O'Dane very gentlemanly moving to riders right and making sure that there was lots of room for our race leaders to get through, no incidents, and that of course was without the benefit of a blue flag, so hats off to O'Dane for that. Race leaders now on the back straightaway once more, Szoke, Christie, and Welsh. Last lap around, Jordan Szoke clocked at 249 kilometers per hour. Don't our provincial police officers have something better to do than clocking our national champion? Glad to have them here, actually, just making fun with them. Szoke now, fast boy. We've recorded speeds upwards to and over 250 kilometers per hour. And Szoke, Christie, and Welsh, I think, could share in that. O'Dane now on the 265 bike gets passed by Trombino, and Matt McBride seems to have fallen off the pace a bit. He and Trombino look like they might have something happening there in the way of a personal duel, but it evaporated very, very quickly here as we pick up once more our race leaders now coming down into Allen's. Christopher Garvey on the 71 bike, Louis Rafa on the 76, and again, no penalty assessed to Louis Rafa, as Matt Cooper and Martin Ricard, Cooper on the 196 and Ricard on the 46 bike. Our race leaders now coming up on Austin Shaw O'Leary, as O'Leary brings it through Allen's corner, now up into Nelson, turn number 14. O'Leary will come out of here first, but as they head into 1, I'm sure Welsh, Christie, and Szoke will be on the move. This is very similar to what we saw last lap around. Let's hope that it all works out well. Szoke looks like he's got enough lead on the other 2 riders to maybe squeeze by. Austin Shaw O'Leary holding his line, holding his position, and Szoke definitely was able to get by. As to what's happening down in turns 7 and 8 remains to be seen. But I'm not sure if all 3 riders have gotten past Austin Shaw O'Leary. No, they didn't. Welsh was the last one by him. Welsh got caught behind O'Leary. And now Szoke and Christie have a bit of a cushion over Alex Welsh on the Kenwood Sound and Suzuki Canada, Parts Canada sponsored GSXR 1000. But he seems to be quickly making it back up. He definitely lost some time there, trying to get around O'Leary, but again, very, very quickly made it up. And Jodi Christie is not letting Jordan Szoke get away with anything here. This is going to go right down to the wire, I guarantee you. 3 riders riding as one. The battle definitely way up front here. Trombino solidly in 4th spot, and should something untoward happen rather to our top 3 riders, Trombino, the warlord, will be there to capitalize on it. As we mentioned, McBride surprising us, actually. We thought that he was going to really mix it up with his buddy Frank Trombino, but that's not happening. And as McBride heads off behind the trees out of our line of vision from the grandstand here, we look to the hairpin and pick up on the action of our top 3 riders. Once more, still riding as one down the back straightaway. Szoke, Christie, and Welsh. Christopher Garvey, Franklin Dominguez on the number 711 bike, Matt Cooper lifting the front wheel on the 196. And Martin Ricard on the 46 bike, most recently passed the tower. Now it is without doubt also within the next 2 laps, maybe a lap and a half, that our top 3 riders are once more going to be getting into lap traffic. And that will consist of Martin Ricard initially, and then they'll have more to deal with. They're starting to really pick up the pace. Over 250 kilometers per hour down the Fabi straightaway. Lap times we're seeing in the 104 range. Lap record is a 103 and change, set by Brett McCormick here in 2009 on the Picot Performance Suzuki GSXR 1000. No one has approached that, although we've had a number of riders that have been able to sneak into the 104 range, and they include the top 3 riders up front, Szoke, Christie, and Welsh. Lap times in the 1 minute and 4 second bracket and top speeds above 250 kilometers per hour. Christie is all over Szoke. Is he going to make a move on him or not? And once again, kudos to Alex Welsh, as he seems to be Mr. Patience out there with a capital P, much the same as he did at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, patiently sitting back in 3rd spot, realizing that the only time you really need to lead the race is across the finish line. Of course, Welsh has that in mind. He would most definitely like to start this 2013 season the same way he left off in 2012, with a big win. Moto Nation rider number 24, Sebastien Tremblay, past the tower over the start-finish line. Now we glance to the back straightaway once more, and our top 3 riders tagged in as though they were tied together. Past the Rider's Choice Control Tower into 11. Welsh getting a really good drive and a really good dive into 11, and closing up just slightly on Christie, as now they come down into Allen's. Top 3 rider into Allen's, Martin Ricard, number 46, now coming out of turn 14. And Christie once more getting that back wheel sliding very slightly. Down into turn 2, Szoke, Christie, and Welsh. They hit in behind the trees now. Just a quick note that if you've lost your cell phone, check with the CRCA officials. Find somebody that's wearing white and ask them. Marty Cooper apparently has the cell phone that's gone missing. Race leaders now out of turns 7, 8, and 9 up towards turn 10. They'll definitely be coming up on lap traffic on the back straightaway, and also likely through the S's. Here we go. Drive down the back straightaway. Here comes Welsh. Welsh has moved up into 2nd spot. Welsh has overtaken Jodi Christie, moved into 2nd spot in behind Jordan Szoke now as they peel off from turn 11. We were anticipating a move by Christie on Szoke, and it worked the other way around, as Alex Welsh now on the Kenwood Suzuki Canada sponsored, Parts Canada sponsored GSXR 1000, solidly in 2nd spot. Now these top 3 riders are going to come upon Martin Ricard between turns 1 and 2. And boy, isn't this a similar scenario to what we've seen a few laps back. Riders coming up on lap riders between 1 and 2. Oh no, you know where the drama's going to happen now? The pass on that lap rider is going to happen out of sight, in behind those trees. We will not be able to see it. We can only judge the results from what happens from behind the trees. We glance over there with anticipation and note, yeah, they've all made it through. Top 3 riders have gotten past Ricard, and they head up into the hairpin. Actually, I'll stand corrected. Jodi Christie was not able to get past Ricard until he got into the hairpin and actually made the pass mid-corner in a desperate move to stay with Alex Welsh. Now Christie passes Welsh. Back into 2nd spot goes Jodi Christie. Oh no, Welsh is taking the runoff road. Welsh gets into turn 11 way too fast. He can't hold it. He can't keep it on the bend, and he runs it off the end of the racetrack. No, that was Ricard. I stand corrected. Welsh is still holding on to 3rd spot. Ricard was the one that got dragged in there. Alex Welsh is all right. He's still solidly in 3rd. Suzuki fans, I apologize profusely. Alex Welsh still very much in this race. A solid 3rd spot right behind Jodi Christie. And once more, they come up on lap traffic. I think that's Matt Cooper they're coming up on right now, and Martin Ricard on the number 46 bike, who elected to take the runoff at the end of the back straightaway, totally confused me. I thought that was Welsh. To the fans involved there, I apologize for that miscue. Meanwhile, I know for sure Welsh, Szoke, and Christie are now in the hairpin, and it looks to me like Christie has made a move there. Down the back straightaway they go. Jordan Szoke, the people's champion, the number 1 plate holder, still with a lead here. He's been leading for the last 5-6 laps now. Christie has moved into second spot on the Accelerated Technologies Honda Canada entry, and Alex Welsh on the Suzuki Canada Kenwood Sound sponsored Suzuki back into third spot. Last lap flag is being readied. Get ready. Last lap flag displayed. Szoke, Christie, and Welsh in through turn 1, holding positions. Now in through turn 2. Oh my goodness gracious, we've waited 21 laps for this, and it comes down to this. These 3 riders have been riding as one through the entire 21 lap contest to date. They're still riding as one. The run down the back straightaway. Oh, this is going to be great. Fans, this run alone was worth the price of admission. Here we go. Szoke, Christie, and Welsh. The final run down the long Fabby straightaway. 252 kilometers per hour. 190 horsepower. And now they're using the disc brakes. Glowing rotors greet them as they come off turn 11, banked over into the right-hander at high speed. Szoke brings it into the right-hander at the S's. A quick flip to the left to straighten him out. Down into Allen's now. Desperate moves by desperate people. Jodi's running in second spot. He can't make anything happen. Szoke is in defense here entirely on the racing line. Nothing's going to happen. Szoke, Christie, and Welsh. So subject to official confirmation from CSBK officials, Jordan Szoke over Jodi Christie, Alex Welsh in third. Frank Trombino ends up in fourth, Matt McBride fifth, Sebastian Tremblay in sixth, Marie-José Boucher in seventh spot, Christopher Gary in eighth, Franklin Dominguez brings it home in ninth, with Matt Cooper rounding out the top 10. Okay, we're going to head down right now and get ready for the podium. Meanwhile, Canada, your champion, Jordan Szoke. 41 now. 41 national championship wins. 8 national championships, and perhaps on his way to his 9th. The people's champion. We'll talk to him on the podium.
Jodi, at the start of that race, you got a whole shot and you had a pretty sizable lead through the first couple of laps. We thought you might be going for a ride.
Absolutely great race. You know, I put down the best start I could. When I was on the line, I was definitely thinking just lug it off the line, you know, don't wheelie it, so you put the power down, and that worked really well.
It's going to be a great series this year, and it's cool to see, you know, 3 different manufacturers up here battling. And obviously it's cool to see BMW on top. But, you know, it's just an awesome race. Joey tried to pass me once in the hairpin, and he had a little moment coming out, which let me back by. And then I thought, well, on the third lap to go, I should really start putting my head down again and just hanging out. And I ran into a lap rider 2 laps in a row into the hairpin. And if you can't do a nice arc into there, it really messes up your drive. And I thought he might get back by there, but luckily he didn't. And I just put my head down in the last lap to get a good drive out of there.
Round 1 of the Superbike Championship for 2013.